Today we're going to be taking a look at Froakie made by Mega. After building Froakie, one of the things that really surprised me is that his eyes have a little bit of articulation, which can make him look a little strange. The printing on his eyes also has his eyes closed, and I personally prefer Froakie's look when his eyes are open. Froakie does come with some articulation in his head, which can be moved side to side if you wanted to have the Pokemon looking in different directions. He also has ball joints in his shoulders, so they can be moved up and down and rotated inward and outward. I guess this is also a good time to mention I feel like his arms and legs are just a little too long when compared to the actual Pokemon in the anime and video games. He also has 2 joints in his legs, which can offer for a good range of posability, and his feet can also be moved inward and outward. Having all these articulation points does allow Froakie to be in a wide variety of poses. Be sure to let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel for more brick-built reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon Finneon made by Mega. I really like the design of Finneon. I think it's a simple yet very effective build. Finneon's head comes on a ball joint, which allows the Pokemon to be able to look left and right, as well as up and down. Finneon also comes with a little bit of articulation here in her tail that can be moved up and down, and Finneon's legs are able to be moved up and down and in and outward. One of the things I really like is the pieces here, here, and here are all made of rubber, which I just think is really cool and gives the Pokemon some good dimension. One of the downsides to these pieces, however, is when you move the ears side to side, the rubber piece isn't going to move with it, which can make it look a little awkward. But I still think this is a really super cute build, and you can put Finneon in a wide variety of different poses. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more brick-built reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon Chespin made by Mega. I think Chespin has a really cute face print. As we take Chespin and turn him to the side here, you can see that his profile shot can look a little awkward at certain angles. Turning him all the way around, you can see he does have a little printed brown spot on the back of his head, and his tail has some really good printing as well. As we turn back to the front, he also has some printing there on his toes. Chespin does come with a fair bit of articulation. His head can be moved left and right and up and down. He does have a couple of rubber pieces on top of his head to give him a little bit of detail and dimension. His arms have a little bit of articulation as well. And then as we move down to his legs, his toes can be rotated inward and outward, and his tail even has a little bit of articulation too. While I do appreciate the articulation Chespin has, it does seem to be a little bit more limited than the other Pokemon I've reviewed so far. And I think that primarily has to do with his stubby little handpiece. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more brick-built content. Today we're going to look at the Pokemon Ditto made by Mega. Ditto's an interesting one because they have you build his overall shape and then just place him right on top. You add his arms and you're good to go. Both of Ditto's arms are on ball joints, which gives it a good range of articulation, which is great because this is the only articulation Ditto actually has. Having this articulation does allow Ditto to give off some sort of expressiveness, which he otherwise would be lacking. Overall, it's a really simple build for a really simple Pokemon. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more brick-built reviews. Today we're going to be looking at the Pokemon Combee made by Mega. I really like the design of Combee here. I think Mega did a really good job with this one. As we turn Combee to the side here, you can see it really doesn't have a bad angle. I think it looks great no matter how you're looking at it. Combee doesn't have any articulation, but that's expected because it doesn't have any extremities to move around. I like the wing and antenna pieces Mega included, and I think it was a good design choice to make this a female Combee with a different facial expression. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more brick-built content and reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon Pichu made by Mega. Like with most of the Pokemon I've reviewed so far, I really like the face print on Pachirisu's face. Turning Pachirisu around here, you can see it's got some pretty good printing detail all around, and I'm really impressed with how big this Pokemon's tail is. It's bigger than the actual figure itself. Pachirisu also comes with a pretty good range of articulation. You can move its ears. The Pokemon's head and arms also have a little bit of articulation, and when you pick it up, you can move its feet around a little bit as well. With how heavy Pachirisu's tail is, it's going to need some stud support if you wanted to have it in various different poses. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more brick-built content. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon Igglybuff made by Mega. Igglybuff has a really cute face print, and this is the smallest Pokemon I've reviewed to date. As we spin Igglybuff around, you can see it kind of has this weird, awkward gap in the top of its head. I'm not a real big fan of that. I think it looks a little weird. Igglybuff has this rubber piece on top of its head for a little bit of detail, and it has a little bit of articulation in its tiny feet. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more brick built content. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon Marill, made by Mega. The thing that surprises me most about Marill is that it is made up of 37 pieces, which is quite a bit when compared to other buildable Pokemon. As you can see, Marill has quite a long tail. It's a little too long in my opinion. As we continue to spin Marill around, I do feel like it's also a little too tall. I personally would have preferred a little bit more of a spherical look. On a more positive note, I feel like Marill does have some pretty solid printing going for it. Especially in the face print, it's spot on. Marill does come with a little bit of articulation. The arms are able to move up and down just a little bit. There's also a little bit of articulation in the feet. They're able to swivel back and forth. And surprisingly, Marill also has a little bit of articulation in the ears, and when they're pulled down all the way, I think it looks a little silly. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more brick built content. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon Rookidee, made by Mega. I think Rookidee has a pretty solid design. As always, I love the printing detail on these buildable Pokemon. I think it's great. As we turn Rookidee to the side here, you can see the overall shape of the Pokemon is pretty accurate. I also think the wings and the tail are a pretty good size when compared to how the Pokemon looks in the video games and anime. The one thing I don't like is that gap found at the top of the head, but that's nothing new with these buildable Pokemon. I also like the piece they used for Rookidee's feet. I think it works really well. There's a rubber piece found at the top of Rookidee's head for a little bit of extra detail. There's not much in terms of articulation for this Pokemon. The wings are able to move up and down, and that's really about it. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more brick built content. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon Sprigatito, made by Mega. I think Sprigatito for the most part looks really cute and is pretty well built. The only part of it that I don't really care for is I feel like the tail's a little bit too big and bulky. Other than that, I think it has a pretty solid design and looks adorable. I'm also going to continue to praise Mega for the printing quality they do on the Pokemon's face. With all of the Pokemon I've reviewed so far, the facial prints have all been pretty spot on. Sprigatito comes with a little bit of articulation in the ears, and as well as the head, it can move back and forth and turn to the side. All four of Sprigatito's feet are on double ball joints, so they're able to raise up and down and bend at the foot. There is also articulation in the tail. Having this articulation allows you to put Sprigatito in a wide variety of different poses. The last thing I want to mention is these two pieces here are made of rubber, so just be careful when you're turning Sprigatito's head. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon and subscribe for more brick built content. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon Quaxly, made by Mega. For me personally, Quaxly is actually my favorite out of the three Paldea starters. And I'm happy to say that I think Mega did a really good job with his design. I like the hairpiece mold and how it fits nicely onto Quaxly's head, as that's an important characteristic to the Pokemon. And I think the overall shaping of Quaxly is done well too. As we turn Quaxly around, you can see there's no printed detail on the back of the Pokemon, but that's to be expected. But I do like the piece that they used for his tail feathers. I think it looks great. As we make our way back to the front of the Pokemon, you can see that there is some printed detail on the front of his chest there. And as always, I feel like Mega does a really good job with their face prints. I also forgot to mention the little bit of printed detail on his hair. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more brick built content and reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pokemon Fuecoco, made by Mega. And I think Fuecoco has a relatively strong design in this brick built form. And I love all the printed detail that this Pokemon has. I think his chest print looks really good, as well as the printing on his feet there. The only part of Fuecoco that I don't necessarily care for is the shape of his chest plate. The piece that Mega used is more of an oval shape, and I think if it was more circular, it would more accurately represent the shape of the Pokemon. As we spin Fuecoco to the back here, you can see some pretty good printing detail on the back of his head and his tail there. And that's one of the things that I love about this Pokemon's design, is all of the printed detail in such a small build. Having all this printed detail really helps bring out the important characteristics of the Pokemon it's trying to represent. The last couple things I want to mention is I do like the hairpiece that's included at the top of his head. I think that's really cute, and of course the face mold and printing is always spot on with these Mega Pokemon designs. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more brick built content and reviews.